How much longer?
Just long enough for you to change your mind. So we can turn this bird around.
You want me to ignore a federal warrant, Sheriff?
No, sir. I want you to understand the reality of this situation. Joseph Seed, he's not a man to be fucked with. We've had run-ins with him before. They haven't always gone our way. Just sometimes. Sometimes it's best to leave well enough alone.
Yeah, well, we have laws for a reason, Sheriff. And Joseph Seed's gonna learn that.
In the chaotic, cold-ridden valley of Hope County, Sheriff Earl Whitehorse is a man out of time. He is a lawman forced into a living nightmare to save his department, yet he remains the moral campus of the world spinning off its axles.
I was gonna retire last year. I was worried I'd get bored.
He is a wary, steadfast, and deeply principled leader, the father figure of the resistance. Even though I did say Jerome was actually like the father figure of the resistance, but here's another father figure of the police department of Hope County. But beneath the silver hair and the polished badge lies a history of compromise, a heavy burden of silence, and a soul withered by the realization that sometimes the law isn't enough to stop the devil.
I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts say, "Come and see."
Step forward.
And I saw. And behold, it was Whitehorse.
Here is the hidden story of this resilient lawman. All of the history, every stand he takes, and the theories behind his unwary resolve. Whitehorse was originally intended to be the ultimate authority figure, the old god standing against the new world order of Joseph Seed. He is depicted as a man of gravity, silver-haired, broad-shouldered, and wearing the weight of the county on his badge. When the deputy first sees him in the fateful helicopter ride, he does not disappoint. Whitehorse is a man of measured charm. He's decorated with the scars of a long career and a uniform that represents a fading civilization. He enjoys the simpler things, a quiet moment of reflection, the safety of his people, and the hope that justice isn't just a word in a book. He is a sheriff, after all, and his cause is for the hope of the resistance.
I thought you said your deputies were taken.
Oh, this one wasn't. Been giving Eden's Gate a hell of a time from what I hear.
That's so. Well, I hope you plan on pitching in. No room for freeloaders.
Oh, Tracy's all right when she gets to know you. She's right about the work, though. Plenty to be done around here. Just ask around.
But look closer at that helicopter ride. Look at the way he hands grip the armrest. Look at what he says. Whitehorse knew. He knew that the warrant for Joseph Seed was a match being dropped into a powder cage. It lit a really big fire in the resistance. He knew that bringing the marshal into the valley, he was breaking the fragile, unease peace he had maintained with the projects of Eden's Gate for years. This is the first sin of the father, the sin of waiting until it was too late. He tried to manage the monster instead of killing it, hoping that if he ignored the screams coming from the wretches long enough, the law would eventually find its own way back to Montana. He may seem like just a prisoner for much of the game, but this weathered lawman was planned to be much more. While the four heralds, John, Jacob, Faith, and Joseph, reign over the regions through fear and bliss, Whitehorse could have been the fifth power. The voice of the old world trying to reclaim its territory. There are two primary theories that haunts the sheriff's legacy. One is the theory of the badge. Some believe Whitehorse knew more about the project of Eden's Gate than he let on. Rumors persist in the valley that Earl had seen the bunkers being built, saw the shipments of gold and guns, and chose to maintain a live and let live policy to protect his deputies from a war he knew he couldn't win. Was his silence a tactical necessity or a dereliction of duty? The second theory is the guest of the Henbane. We find the sheriff deep within Fate's territory. Despite the Bliss trying to rot his brain, he remains lucid, speaking to the deputy through the fog. This is a feat almost no one has achieved. Most succumb to the angels or the hallucinations, yet Earl stands tall in the middle of the drug-induced nightmare.
I don't have much time, Earl. The Bliss. You have to stop it. You have to hurry.
But even though, man, look, the deputy was really hit with the bliss so many times in Fate's region, and that could have rotted the deputy's brain. But instead, the deputy kept fighting on. The deputy went through a lot, in this game. But Sheriff Whitehorse also showed some sort of resistance in the times at the game when Fate actually brought her the second time. So I think Sheriff Whitehorse also had a very powerful spirit in order to fight the Bliss. It's simply willpower, or Whitehorse possesses of an equally powerful spirit that the Seeds couldn't fully crush. There is a school of thought that suggests Whitehorse represents the father of the circular world, a mirror image to Joseph's father of the divine. To break Whitehorse was to break the very concept of the United States of Hope County. After navigating the horrors of the regions, the deputy confronts the truth of Whitehorse's situation. He's been held, used as bait, and forced to watch his world burn. When you find him in the Henbane River, he isn't screaming for mercy. He's observing. He's analyzing the rot. This question isn't just for the deputy, it's for himself. When the deputy finally reaches him in the final confrontation, the sheriff delivers the most impactful realization of the game. He sees the collapse coming, and he actually gets surprised that Joseph was actually right, that the collapse was actually coming.
It is finished, child. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Sing great.
And for them to actually fear this prophecy that Joseph was speaking for years and years and years, and now it's finally here. He sees that the process of saving the county, the resistance has become as violent and fractured as the cult they fought. This is Whitehorse in a neutral pragmatism in the face of apocalypse. He doesn't care about the seals or the trumpets. He cares about the man to his left and the woman to his right. He is the anchor that prevents the deputy from floating away into the same madness that consumed the Seeds. If Joseph is the fire, Whitehorse is a stone that refuses to melt. And it's very, very sad, man, in the end, because Sheriff Whitehorse doesn't actually survive the collapse. I don't know if he actually survives the whole collapse and we find him in Far Cry New Dawn, because I never heard of Sheriff Whitehorse in Far Cry New Dawn. I think he actually died same way as the other people that you don't actually find after everything exploded, after the whole collapse, especially the ones you were driving with in the car. Only 2 people survived that car crash, Joseph and the deputy. Nobody else. Well, there are some people that actually survived, like Grace and the Pastor Jerome. Grace and Pastor Jerome, who we find in Far Cry New Dawn. But unluckily for Sheriff Whitehorse, he never actually survived the whole collapse. But his story and his arc is very important and deeply rooted in Far Cry 5 as one of the most impactful protagonists of the game. Throughout the whole game, man, Sheriff Whitehorse was the one beating the drum and telling the marshal not to let things go, astray, and trying to keep the peace between the Project of Eden's Gates and the Sheriff's Department, even though he knew that he should actually impose on the law like what the marshal was actually trying to do. He knew that keeping the peace between these people up until they know exactly that they can have, a proper way to actually settle things with the Project of Eden's Gates. Whitehorse wasn't the victim, he was the sacrifice. He represented the law that Joseph had to kill to let the prophecy live. And yeah, man, that's it for Sheriff Whitehorse. He's a very interesting character. As I say, he's a very good protagonist, and he does actually seem like the father figure, but only, for the deputy side, the department, the police department in the Hope County. He does seem like a father figure to them in the whole department, because in that whole department, it stands as it is. Even though they're in the prison, it stands as it is because of Sheriff Whitehorse and what he does throughout the dude. Even though throughout the whole game, in the beginning of the game, he tried to keep the peace between the Sheriff's Department and the Project Eden's Gates, and that seemed very cowardly. I know to some people they might think of Sheriff Whitehorse as the coward that just wanted to turn his tail and run away, but the dude just wanted to keep the peace, He just wanted to keep the people safe, even though they were not safe, but he just wanted to keep everybody safe, including his Sheriff's Department. Up until we actually saw that they actually had a chance to actually fight back. that's when the deputies started fighting back and killing each leader each and every time. And yeah, man, that's it for my video. Please like, share, and subscribe. You guys have been the best. If you've just subscribed to my video, if you just subscribed like recently, thank you so much. And you're a superstar. Yeah, just know that you're a very good superstar. And stay tuned, man, for more videos. For me, Max, and Screen TV Magic,
I will see you when I see you.
Jesus Christ, you scared the shit